I am going to do a world record of 1,000 men in 24 hours.
Do you share me with your dad?
I wouldn't share you with my dad, no chance. He's happily married.
That's a red flag for me. No one is happily married. To pleasure as many uni students in 2 weeks, I want to sleep with 130 barely legal 18-year-olds.
Like, I love the idea that I don't know who's going to be inside of me. There was times I was in doggy and I'd turn around and I would have no idea who's in the back of me. And I love that.
That's disgusting.
I love it.
What are we even doing here? Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Native Path. So the question I originally wanted to ask in this video is, how bad do you have to be to get banned from the platform dedicated to singular fans? Or only air blowing implements? And we know there's a lot more than air blowing going on over there. Sydney, you are gross. Anyway, as it turns out, the answer to that question is pretty bad. For those of you who watch most of my content, thank you, I'm glad you're here, you'll know that I've talked about a mattress actress called Bonnie Blue several times recently. Because every time I log onto the internet, I see her butthole. I see her doing something outrageous or insane in order to gain more market share of the OAF platform, such as reportedly doing the Devil's Tango with over 1,000 men in 12 hours. How that is mathematically possible, I don't know.
You've had 1,000 men's inside of you today.
Yeah.
What hurts more, your mouth or your...
Probably down there a little bit. I don't need a wheelchair, like I am fine.
She's also bragged about playing hide the sausage with newly graduated, barely legal high school boys for educational purposes.
Okay, so it's no secret I have a hobby, which is pleasuring barely legal 18-year-olds, and I cannot wait to be doing the same in just three weeks' time, and it's going to be in surfers paradise.
She's also upset the internet on more than one occasion for saying that she supports cheating and endorses it, and if women can't satisfy their husbands, then she will.
How can I ever say women are anything but lazy and poorly educated?
So there's a lot there. There's actually a lot more. And, you know, at this point, it was really just my fault for having eyeballs. But it seems that in recent weeks, she has taken things far enough that even the OAF platform itself has deleted her account. It is gone. I checked. And she knows it too, given that she's been throwing shade at the platform and promoting a new one.
OAF wanted me to not be open to the public, but that's why I get off to. So my main thing I wanted to do is remain open to the public. But luckily, I've switched to Fansly.
If a single one of you go and look up this new account, I will maim you. But here you might be wondering, given her track record, what precisely she did in this case that got her a permaban. Well, her suspension from the platform seems to hinge on an announcement she made during an episode of a podcast, I think, on June 1, 2025, where she announced that she would be doing a petting zoo. It's as bad as it sounds. What is this? I am uncomfortable. During this episode of The Standoff, Blue said that she planned to be tied up and gagged in a glass box and allow upwards of 2,000 people to do whatever they wanted to her.
Well, I'm actually doing my own theatre next month.
Oh,
so
yeah.
maybe you could come to that and you see the amount of men that pay to watch me be in a glass cage for 24 hours. I'm going to be tied up in a glass box for a couple of days, and my body is for everyone. It's happening in June.
So you're going to get paid to be in a box and just let anyone do whatever they want to you?
Yeah.
And
Well, obviously I get paid once I make the video, but the actual act is completely free.
Well, this is alarming. The good news is I'm 98% sure that this never went ahead. Because I'm sure, given the UK, this is probably illegal. Except for her posting photos of an actual petting zoo with actual animals. But from the initial announcement, some people immediately associated these antics with a Serbian artist called Marina Abramovic. I don't know how to pronounce this, I'm sorry, who did something similar in 1974, except her point wasn't to make corn, but rather to test what people were prepared to do to one another when there weren't any restrictions. She laid out 72 objects on a table, like a rose, feather, grapes, nails, a gun, a scalpel, just to name a few, and told viewers that they could use these objects on her as they wanted. The whole thing started off pretty tame, but by the end of it, Abramovich had been USA'd, someone had cut her neck and drank her blood. Ew, why would you do that to a stranger? Another held a gun to her head. With relation to Bonnie Blue, some people immediately said that her petting zoo stunt was asking for a similar outcome. Basically, allowing anyone off the street to do anything they want to you is insane, as Abramovich found out. People are sick and weird. I think that all of recorded human history has proved that. Anyway, sometime after this announcement, until mid-ish June, it seems that OF actually caught wind of this plan and decided to suspend Bonnie Blue's account from their platform, citing that this goes against their community guidelines. Editing Sydney from the future here, I forgot to say that you want to know what doesn't go against community guidelines? Being healthy, which is why today's video is sponsored by Native Path. I often have icy witch fingers. Yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. My hands are often frozen popsicles. But some of you might also get swollen limbs, joint pain, maybe even brain fog. Unfortunately, these are a handful of the awful symptoms of poor blood circulation. I would know. Witch fingers. But before you go after some expensive and ineffective solution to these issues, it's worth checking out Native Path's krill oil, which you can get at getkrill.com/Sydney and get a special 66% off offer. I have cut down my supplements to a handful I find work best, and this includes anything with omega-3 fatty acids, which is what krill oil is packed with. Native Path's Antarctic krill oil is sourced from wild-caught krill, and its omega-3 content has been shown to promote healthy blood pressure, circulation, brain health, as well as reduce inflammation, swelling, and joint pain. I'm pretty picky about the supplements that I take generally, but I really like these because they don't have that gross fishy aftertaste. They're small and they're soft gels, which I really like. Not like the regular gross fish oil horse pills. This formulation is also better for absorption into the bloodstream. So if you too want to fight your own witch fingers and help your circulation, then click the link in the description or go to getkrill.com/Sydney. When you use my link, you'll get up to 66% off as well as free shipping. And once again, that's getkrill.com/Sydney. According to the Metro, an OF spokesperson said that extreme challenge content is not available on the platform and is not permitted under their acceptable use policy and terms of service. Never thought I'd see the day where a platform like OF would do something rational, but here we are. Blue responded to this herself, saying that she was being unfairly targeted by the website and that other women were doing things that were just as extreme, if not more. I mean, to a large extent, she's probably not wrong, but Bonnie, honey, let's be real. You wanted to put yourself in a glass box in the middle of London to let people do to you whatever they pleased. How did you ever think that this wouldn't be an issue? I really hate living through this time of great disappointment. Maybe one day our ancestors are gonna look back on this time and be like, ah yes, they had the boom of technology and they used it to put feet on the internet. I would like some money for these. Now, when I initially started writing this video, I wanted to exclusively talk about this OF ban and the extremeness of Bonnie Blue's behavior. But the more I watched her interviews and observed her in clothed content and looked at her normal everyday videos, the more I realized that the story of Bonnie Blue is about more than simply an outrageous mattress actress on the internet. It's about a woman who is somewhat responsible for accelerating the adult content culture that has put a tremendous amount of money in her pocket, but simultaneously misled thousands of other women. She is a marketing genius who turns clicks into cash, and the truth is, we don't even know if she's truly doing half of the things that she claims. But the joke is on the women trying to emulate her, because they don't seem to have cottoned onto that. Listen. Sometimes we're not dealing with the brightest bulbs on the Christmas tree. If you guys can cast your minds back, I said a little while ago that women on OF were going out of their way to do more and more extreme things in order to carve out a greater market share of the platform. This is because, as the space has become more competitive, it's important that these women stand out from one another. Because, as many of you likely know, women have joined OF en masse since it began in 2016, with the platform subtly advertising the ability to make thousands of dollars. Although the sad reality is that the average monthly payment totals about $150 to $180. Which, if you ask me, is not enough to justify putting your pink bits on the internet. Forever. Seriously, if your future offspring can Google what your ham sandwich looks like and actually get results, that's not a good thing. But as this space has gotten much more saturated, and really at this point it's very oversaturated, it's become so much more important to be able to stand out. And unlike traditional adult content, getting eyeballs on OF was about more than being young and hot. I guess, thankfully, the Bonnie Blues of the world were given something of a blueprint to navigate the great OF migration. Thanks to women like Belle Delphine and Mia Khalifa, those who followed learned that controversy was the way to build a brand. But soon, a little controversy wasn't enough. Then came this newest iteration of online ladies, those who were prepared to go the extra step, who understood that manufacturing drama and conflict and extreme behavior, extreme antics, was a way to drum up a significant amount of media attention. And I don't know about the rest of you, but after many years of this, it's very hard to tell which of these antics are real and which are manufactured. I'm starting to get husky, I'm sorry, oh my god. Unless, of course, you guys like me sounding a little husky. Don't answer that. The thing about Bonnie Blue is that she is aware that the more extreme her actions, the more eyeballs. She said as much herself. In February 2025, after the media reportedly suggested that Blue was pregnant, she admits that she took that rumor and ran with it, admitting she used the stunt to gain media attention and raise money for IVF, which I'm not sure I believe you.
And then a few days had gone past, and I was like, actually, why don't we use this to our advantage? Why don't I hint the fact I'm pregnant? Because the media is already doing that. Like, why don't I actually take control from this and feel empowered from it, as opposed to letting the media run with stories which aren't correct? And the plan was from that was, okay, in 24 to 48 hours, I'm going to release a video to say this extra income I've earned and attention I've had from hinting at pregnancy, I'm going to put towards somebody else's IVF journey.
No, I am not pregnant. Yes, I have hinted at it. And the reason being is I'm going to use the media attention and the extra income I have had over the last few days because I want to pay for somebody's IVF journey.
You couldn't just donate some of the bajillions of dollars that you make in a month to someone on their IVF journey? Just generally? You had to do this in the most self-serving way humanly possible? Yeah, I'm definitely buying the altruism. In another interview with Holly Randall from June 2024, Randall told Blue that it was clear that she was very into marketing. That's certainly one way of putting it. Blue confirmed this, saying that anyone can make an adult tape, but getting big is about how you market it, how you go about selling yourself.
I mean, really, it's all, you sound very driven by marketing.
Yeah.
And that's a thing, like being a sex worker and making a living online in the way that you do is you have to be really keyed into marketing because that's what it is. Yeah. It's actually not as easy as people think it is. Like, well, you know, so many people are like, oh, I can just show my feet and make all this money. It's like,
yeah, I'm just gonna I get the comment all the time is you only have what you earn because you're because you post tapes. It's like you only have that because you do it. It's like you go and post a tape then and see how much money it earns you. Yeah. Because it doesn't. You can't just post a tape. There's got to be more to it. Like people don't just go on like people have got to subscribe. They've got to put their bank details in. Like it's a commitment from the subscribers. So it's got to be worthwhile. And just uploading some shitty tape ain't gonna get you anything.
I'm obviously going to link these podcasts for you all in the description box if you want to watch them, but this one was particularly illuminating. There's this part where Bonnie Blue is talking about how women have to understand their niche. They have to understand how to pop off online, and I feel like I'm living in a dystopian, weird world. I have no idea what I'm doing with my hands. And in case you needed further confirmation, Blue reiterated these points again in late 2024 on a podcast, The Briefing. She articulated how the hate she gets, petitions to shut her down and so on, allow her to promote her content further.
Anytime there's a hate comment, I use it to promote my next video. Like the current petition to get me cancelled is the promotion for my OF video. The more taboo they're making it sound, the more it boosts me, especially the women saying, oh my God, this girl's content is so out there. It is pushing their husbands and their sons to be more intrigued and want to watch it. It does nothing other than drive my money up and my bank balance is going through the roof. So honestly, it's more thanks to my subscribers, but thank you to the haters, because you really are making me rich.
As an aside, I find it so funny that she went from saying that her content was supposed to be educational for teenage boys to fully admitting that she does insane things to get attention and more subscribers, which she said during this podcast. Gee, I wonder what caused that shift. No, I really do. If someone knows, I'd like the answer. These admissions from Blue are honestly nothing new, and we've seen similar things articulated by former bed dweller Nala Ray, who also admitted during appearances after her conversion to Christianity that she would lie relentlessly about her antics to paint a specific picture of herself to her audience.
As a viral creator I went on so many podcasts because I knew the only way to grow my was to be viral, and it's such an oversaturated platform right now, and I've been on it for like 5.5 years. So everything I've said on podcasts is complete clickbait. I did it to go viral to then make money, and it worked. I said whatever I needed to because I understand the male brain.
So now your brain is thinking, how can I make more? If I made this much,
That's it.
How can I make more?
That every month was like, how can I top last month? That was my brain. Like, I fed off of that thought.
Bonnie Blue, at least to me, seems to be the exact same way. She's saying she's doing these things, behaving as if she's been deported or arrested, when these aren't even real police officers.
Sorry, Daddy, but I finally got caught out for taking all of those barely legals.
That time you got caught, you filthy predator! You little groomer! Nonce. Yeah!
Okay, so we all know how much Fiji loved me sleeping with schoolies. And next up is the Australia Border Force. Are you ready?
They do not act like this. Or maybe they do. Honestly, I don't really want to find out. This guy makes me feel like I need to take a shower. And not in the good way. The point is, Bonnie Blue says a lot. She talks a lot. On every podcast she goes on, she tells us how she did the higgledy-piggledy with 300 men here, or 50 men here, or 37 at once.
I mean, how many 18-year-olds have you slept with?
Hundreds and hundreds now. It must be like 400.
And the most I want to take in one night is 25, but I'll let you into a little secret. I did 30 on the first day alone.
I did 1,057.
She tells us how she played on the merry-go-round with a father and son.
But I'd actually slept with the son a few days before, and then he came back with his dad, and I thought, oh, the dad's coming to tell me off. But no, his dad wanted a turn as well.
But really, outside of a couple promo videos on social media, and I'm assuming a few adult fun time tapes on her Spice platforms, it's not like we know definitively that she's doing what she's saying. It's basically one giant trust me, bro. I don't trust you. You put strange things in your body. For money. Even the admissions that she made during the standoff episode are crazy and sound more like they're designed to make people angry than actually be admissions about her interests.
It was a lot of work. It was sort of like a rotation. Every 40 seconds, somebody new was inside of me. Like, I love the idea that I don't know who's going to be inside of me. There was times I was in doggy and I'd turn around and I would have no idea who's in the back of me. And I love that.
That's disgusting.
I love it.
Now, let me connect this back to OF for a second. I think that the people who operate this platform have cottoned onto this reality, that this is an oversaturated platform that operates on extremeness and virality. And as more and more women compete with one another to do these radical and unsafe things, it ultimately reflects very poorly on the platform itself, especially during a time where they are shopping buyers. I'm obviously no expert, but I have to assume that it's considerably less risky to ban a top performer than risk a bunch of other women following Bonnie Blue down this road of depravity. And if you don't believe me that this is the case, she admits that she's setting the pace for the industry. During an interview with The Sun from a couple months ago, she says that she created the game.
I've created the game, basically. I have changed and completely changed the industry, to put it simply. No one was doing what I've done. I started these
stunts, that's what we're going to call them, like back in November, and I've continued to do them every few months.
During another interview with the same outlet from June 18, she said that other creators are mimicking her entire marketing techniques and events. When commenting about her OAF ban, she also took a stab at other OAF women, Annie Knight and Lily Phillips in particular, saying that OAF deemed Blue's content dangerous, although she's the only person creating this content who has never publicly made statements about ending up in hospital or crying after these events. Here, she is referring to Annie Knight's hospitalization after the Australian Monster Masher also attempted to do the Devil's Tango with over 1,000 men. Why this is a thing, I will never know. Knight reportedly experienced some bleeding, and her comment about crying refers to the viral clip of Lily Phillips becoming extremely emotional and saying she disassociated after she attempted to do the naked sword fight with 100 men.
Sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, like it's not like normal sex at all.
So to reiterate my earlier point, Blue's antics aren't only a personal cash grab. They are accelerating a toxic culture that is misleading and harming thousands of women who are attempting to follow in her footsteps. And something I really want everyone to understand here is that there is a massive public fascination with this woman. She isn't just some passing weirdo. Well, I mean, like, she is, but people really like that. Contrary to the commentary of some talking heads on the right, Blue will not fade into oblivion if we stop talking about her. And she absolutely has not been popularized by right-wing commentators covering her antics. She is part of the cultural zeitgeist, appearing on shows viewed by non-political people regularly. She gets invited on actual news programs to talk to hosts about her escapades. And most don't treat her with derision. I mean, some do, of course, like the host of The Standoff, but many approach her with genuine curiosity.
#1 fan right here, oh my God. I love you, boy!
So this neutral, and sometimes even positive attention, among other things, is spawning a series of copycats like Annie Knight or Lily Phillips. And if Blue can't spawn them, then it seems that she is intent on having a hand in creating them herself, which is just honestly horrific. Not too long ago, Blue posted a series of videos with another young woman called Julie Filippo. Filippo is a member of a bop house, as they're now called, which is basically a house full of young women who live together and make wiggly-piggly content. Most of these women look very young and act very young, Filippo included. During her collab, Bonnie Blue positioned Filippo as barely legal, which is sort of true. She's 23, but she looks like a newly baked bun. Then they proceeded to film a lot of weird videos that editing Sydney has probably tried to put on screen if she can. Blue also did this with another woman whose name is apparently Alice, who said that she has a newly created OF account and is very new to all of this.
Okay, so Alice is a girl I met at spring break and she is very, very hot, so completely makes sense that she's here.
And I just started on and I've never really seen anything, so I'm really excited.
She is barely legal, just turned 18. When did you turn 18?
Well, I turned 18 in September.
Okay.
So I've had a little, but I've never really seen anything.
Now, obviously, two things. Number one, barely legal content is nothing new. It's one of the top-rated adult content types online, and there's a strong chance that the two women I just highlighted are putting on this cutesy naivety thing. And number two, it's obviously very common in the industry to have women collab together like this. However, there's something extremely weird to me about an extreme beta taking fresh out of the womb 20-somethings and saying that she wants to corrupt them and traumatize them and then probably subjecting them to actually traumatizing things. Because after teaming up together, Filippo went on a podcast where she joked that the experience traumatized her and she needs therapy.
I think everything happens for a reason, but I'm happy you made a check. I wish I could have made a check off of that, but at the same time, you're in therapy for a reason because what you saw traumatized you. So I'm glad I got to spare my soul and mind of that. No, I don't regret not going. No.
I'm glad you didn't, but I think you should come to therapy with me.
I'll go.
These videos with Filippo are pretty extreme. Blue says some really, really off-putting things about wanting to be messed up and destroyed by these men, and these are comments that she's repeatedly made during interviews, that she wants to be hurt and disrespected, that she has to encourage men to behave disgustingly because they're too polite.
I'm looking forward to seeing your face. I'm looking forward to seeing their dicks and how much they're gonna, try and hurt me. I'm looking forward to seeing, your face.
I'm terrified. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I really don't. I'm going to stand there.
What's the aggression level? Have you talked to them what they're allowed and not allowed to do?
I've just said no back door, but I've said, mess me up. I am I'm
cool
your...
with hair pull,
yeah,
slapping.
Okay. I don't want a single bit of makeup left. I don't want a single bit no, take my dignity, take my holes, take
buddy.
me.
If I want to do that, it's my body and I take control of it.
Yeah,
and
of
as
course.
a woman, we all say about how if we feel empowered by something, we should do that.
Yeah.
I feel empowered when I'm disrespected by over 1,000 men. I have to remind them, spit on me, slap me, choke me, pull my hair, because they're too polite to me.
All of this rolls me around to an issue that I have always had with the adult work is empowering crowd. Bonnie Blue is a product of feminism that encourages women to view this type of behavior as empowering. She has even said this on a number of occasions herself. Although, ironically, a handful of other OF women have called her out, saying that what she's doing is actually not good for women overall and is setting us back collectively. I mean, they're not wrong, but this is definitely a pot meets kettle moment. The reality here is that OF and similar platforms are selling a lie, and Bonnie Blue is the poster child for it. And what bothers me further is that this is a lie that is leading women to believe that this is a path to financial freedom, and men to believe that it's okay to treat women this way. And I'm not so sure that the women making their own content, the 18-year-old boys participating in Bonnie's, and absolutely everybody in between, has really thought about the consequences here. Because after all, the internet is forever. We often levy the majority of blame in these conversations at the women making the content, but I'm also squarely looking at the men who are using their wallets to ensure these antics continue. I'll also take this opportunity to say that despite what I probably titled this video, the majority of women are obviously not doing this and obviously not participating in this kind of behavior. And I personally believe that a large portion of women are wonderful people who are also disgusted by what they are seeing here. So I hope that if I have in fact titled this video as I wanted to and planned to, that nobody will interpret that as me saying this is some sort of broad sweeping indictment on all women, because it isn't. But it is an indictment on the women following the Bonnie Blue path. A path that is, in a lot of ways, contributing to the overall degradation of our culture. And some of you might blanch at this kind of terminology, but this just isn't empowerment. It's exploitation dressed up as feminism. And in my view, this is just not the way Western women. I think something that's worth remembering is that just because the structure of OF and similar platforms looks different than those ladies who frequent the streets, doesn't mean that they're actually dissimilar. The mechanisms here perform the same as that of traditional adult work, and these women end up existing not for themselves, but for the men who pay them, despite what the Bonnie Blues of the world might have you believe. And many viewers are all too happy to watch these women do more and more extreme things for their viewing pleasure. It is a weird, uncomfortable, vicious cycle, and the addition of these extreme marketing tactics have really only served to pave a road into the depths of hell for everyone involved. In the end, the acceleration of the degeneracy Olympics is not going to end well on a long enough timeline, and all the while women are being put in harm's way, young people are participating in things that will exist on the internet forever, and the likes of Bonnie Blue, and Bonnie Blue specifically, is laughing her way to the bank. Now, open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue where you think that this is very, very bleak and not so great culturally? Do you think that this is fine and that Bonnie Blue and the likes of Bonnie Blue are really just independent businesswomen who are just getting that bag? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you think socially and culturally we are heading in a scary direction? Do you think that this was all inevitable and honestly we were going to end up here anyway? What do you think think of the men who subscribe to these women and pay these women? Are they at fault? Are they not at fault? And what you generally make of this issue overall. As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Of course, as always, in the interim, I hope you wonderful pretty people make good choices and stay safe and well, and I will see your lovely little faces in the next video.